Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
It works. Good.
So,
Good.
yeah, thank you for waiting. Well, I just introduced, like in mute, but I introduced Juan Carlos, one of the game designers, and he was telling you how excited he is for this release.
I really am. We really love these new enemies we came up with, and we really love that you actually engaged so much with Greenbeard's machinations through the clone contest.
It was so much fun looking through the entries. We had 150 in total, and yeah, so much fun.
Good.
And a little just a disclaimer: there was an issue where people sometimes couldn't like purchase the DLC. It's fixed now, so if you had an issue with that, you can go ahead. It should be working fine.
Good. So let's get to it. Let's see what Greenbeard has been up to. I always love this part when you get to see new content. So we have a new campaign, 5 new levels for Colossal Dwarfare, and we have a new hero, Kratoa, and a new tower, the Cannoneer Squad. So of course we're going to play with these new heroes. Whom should I take with Kratoa?
Well, the obvious choice would be Broden because he's a dwarf.
Very good. I like that. Good, so let's level up his skills. There we go. So what's the deal with this new guy, with Kratoa? Well, he was sleeping under the mountain and Greenbeard disrupted his sleep. You know, evil people tend to do that. So he's now... Kratoa woke up and he decided that he does not want no dwarves on his turf. So he's ready to kick them out with the help of the Alliance. So let's take the Cannoneers as our secondary barracks, but let's play with this a little bit. Because this is the vanilla setup, and I like it very much, but you know, we can do something that's a little bit funnier. Which towers do you like? Do you have any suggestions?
Honestly, I think this one is fine. I love the necromancers, but maybe it's too much. Let's focus on the Cannoneer.
Okay, let's showcase the Cannoneer here. Good. Let's go. Okay.
I think the difficulty is normal or casual. Yeah. I don't know what difficulty you want to play in.
Now let's play it a little bit harder. I mean, for some of you, the veteran is just the right difficulty. It is for me. I like playing in veteran mode. Impossible is quite good. I'm not so good at playing in possible mode, so I just stick to veteran. But you're welcome to try impossible mode. Good, so here's the deal. The dwarves are working inside of the mountain, building some huge robot to conquer the world.
That comic scene is just so wonderful to me. People are saying do it impossible on the second playthrough.
I can try. I can try. I'm not that good, but I'll try. If you want me to try, I'll do it. Okay, good. So here we go. We get to see the first dwarven enemies.
So what was the inspiration for choosing to make this theme for the DLC?
Well, when we brainstorm some new ideas, we like to try some concepts that are a little bit farther from what we did before. Some of them that are near the Kingdom Rush universe and dwarves. Dwarves are always... I really love dwarves, and the idea of evil dwarves that were doing their thing in the mountain and having like a central figure like Greenbeard, like a mad inventor, it just sounded right. Like, let's have for a change an evil dwarf, because we have Bolger in Vengeance,
Yeah,
and he's a good dwarf, and let's try an evil dwarf. And it paid off. I really like Greenbeard. I mean, he's not a nice guy. I like him.
And how about the idea for making all the enemies also Greenbeard, like all the clones?
Well, we actually went back and forth on how the dwarven enemies were going to be, and there was this idea of like, what if they were just the same dwarf? And it's like we wanted a mad inventor, someone that was villainous but also kind of funny. And it was like, okay, what if all the enemies are clones of Greenbeard? Because he doesn't trust anyone else to handle the job. So if you want something well done, you have to do it yourself. And by himself, he meant multiple.
He meant that literally.
Yes. So I thought it was really fun. It was a really funny idea. And for me, it paid off. I mean, it's just too much fun to trash these guys because we know they are all him.
Well, Prahant is asking, like, what was the inspiration? He finds him to be like Dr. Eggman
Yes.
of the Kingdom Rush universe.
Well, if there is an evil genius / inventor, it's Dr. Eggman for me. And it wasn't like the main idea behind Greenbeard at the first moment, because he was like, let's do something like Wilbur but evil. So Greenbeard was just right, and then it's like, let's check what would Greenbeard invent to try to conquer the world. And he was just like Eggman. I believe the two of them would hang out together very nicely.
They would get along.
Yeah.
And also in the chat, everyone is happy to see the Rain of Fire back with Kratoa ability.
Oh, yes. Well, it's quite nice and quite powerful. Kratoa's abilities all resolve from himself, because he's made of lava. And as you can see, I love this ability. He spins around and burns enemies. He's really good at controlling like huge swarms of enemies. And he also throws a piece of himself towards the enemies, and we like to call it a magmite, that can also block enemies. He's pretty versatile. I mean, he cannot fight flying enemies, but that's why Rodin is here.
Perfect match. Some people ask if Kratoa knows Ignus.
I don't really know, because he comes from another place, like it's more like an elemental being.
Yeah, he was like napping, doing his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a people person. I mean, we can see that. Here, he doesn't like people. I mean, he only likes the Alliance because they are helping him to get rid of the dwarves.
Oh, and what about the tower, the Cannoneers? How did that come?
The Cannoneers, we wanted to also have something else about the dwarves in this DLC, good dwarves. And so since Kratoa was going to be the hero of this expansion, to have another dwarven tower just seemed right. And the Cannoneers is a really nice tower because they work like the rocket gunners, well, the flying. You get less units, more firepower. They are also really cool. I don't know if many of you have played Legends of Kingdom Rush, but we had a bombardier unit, a dwarven unit. We based on that to create this tower. And this one has a really, really nice set of skills, which you're going to see very soon. Well, Kratoa got killed, but so you can see he can move around the battlefield while dead. And he also burns enemies.
And it's very unique how his death is a mechanic.
Yes.
So,
I mean, him dying alongside his hero power also helps you clear many enemies. Another thing that Kratoa does is when he comes back dead, he's not really dead. But when he respawns, he buffs the damage of your towers. So he's really, really powerful. It's really useful to have him go from one point to another in the battle.
Oh, Polix made an interesting question for
Yes.
you. Question for the developer. This is the first time you ever made a barracks with 5 dedicated units, which sounds pretty overpowered. Were there any concerns or on how good or bad they do overall?
Okay, good. So let's go over the tower skills. So you can buy extra units for this barrack, for the cannoneers. So let me just get at these enemies. Enough money to buy another unit. So you can get up to 5 units, which is really, really powerful. And they also get an incendiary ammo to burn enemies. So if you combine that with the amount of units, you get an extremely powerful barrack. I really like this barrack, but as you can see, you know, the cost of each extra unit actually increases each time you get a new unit. The next one is more expensive, so that's one of the ways we keep it balanced, because you need to invest a lot of gold to reach the cannoneer's maximum potential.
Yeah, they're expensive, but worth it.
Really worth it and really fun. Also really fun.
Yeah, they jump all over the stage.
So let's get more units. So yeah, if they move, you know, large lengths, you can make them jump. So that's a really nice touch, and you know, a callback to one of the skills of the bombardier from Legends of Kingdom Rush. And they are really good to fight flying units. It's also true.
Yes, when we made the hero spotlight, one of the messages said, flying enemies no problem because of their ability targeting flying enemies. And everyone was like, oh, finally, a tower to help us with alliances. Flying enemies, they know.
Yes. Well, flying enemies are quite a pest in this game, I know.
And the storyline asked, what was the inspiration for Kratoa?
Oof. For Kratoa. Well, I'm not actually the best person to answer that, since I did not come up with Kratoa himself, but he has, he's reminiscent of anger from Inside Out. He has like that fiery temper. But we wanted something that belonged to the mountain. We thought about many other ideas, like, for example, a different clan of dwarves or something else. But it just felt right to have, you know, a being that wasn't like your standard hero. So he's entirely something else, entirely on his own. Good thing is I can get more units here.
He also gives me like a sort of Tasmanian devil.
Yes, he has
vibe.
that sort of vibe. Well, here I miscalculated both things. So, and you want me to play in impossible mode?
No, it's too hard speaking and answering questions and also playing in impossible mode.
Yeah.
And also getting the 3 stars. Come on.
It's barely there, barely there. Good. Okay, so we got that under control. Let's just get the 5th unit, so you can get to see. Not a barrack, just it's good. So right, I tend to focus a little bit too much in the game. You know, it's quite wonderful that I still enjoy to play this game while making it, because as a developer, we play a lot of our games. But so if you don't ask me questions, I'm just capable of just playing without saying anything else. So keep questions coming.
The... There are people asking about the roadmap, but I can answer that. We published it on Steam. We will soon share it on social media, but you need to try to guess. You have like mysterious shadows to try and guess what the next update is about. We're not going to tell you yet, so you need to wait or keep guessing.
Guessing is quite fun.
Yeah, we love to see your theories, analyzing, trying to come up.
There were a couple of people, I believe, on Reddit that actually guessed that this new update was Dwarven themed.
I love this.
And they figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think the clue was Kingdom Rush Vengeance achievement of one of the Dwarven levels. So since some players already knew that asset from the previous game, they were able to guess on the roadmap. I think the next two, because they have the next two updates that are coming, in this roadmap with a mystery shadow where they need to guess. I think the next two are like harder to guess. They are not so straightforward because they are not an achievement inventions. But you can still try to guess. I have seen people in Reddit guess correctly the next update, what it's about.
But
From
we are not
the
going.
rope. Oh no, I'm not going
We're
to
not
confirm.
going to tell
Someone
you.
did. There are so many theories. You don't know which one.
So after losing these 3 lives, I was going to say that I had everything under control, but this guy here, he does not think the same. So let's just stall him a little bit.
I find it hilarious how even the robots have Greenbeard's face and his beard.
Well, as you can see, Kratoa's power at max level is pretty powerful, so it's good to use against bigger enemies like the Guardian here. I love this animation so much.
Oh, I have people asking for Juan Andres.
He's working very hard right now. That's why I'm...
And also, you were the, I believe, like most involved game developer in this DLC. So I think you're the one to.
I'm the one to
direct
blame.
questions.
I'm the one to
To
blame.
blame,
So
yeah.
if you don't like something here, it's like just entirely my fault.
Don't
I'm
blame
sorry.
Juan.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. This is a really fun update. I'm not going to apologize for this update being this fun.
I find it super unique, and all the cutscenes are hilarious. We got some questions about the ending comic, but we're not going to get into that.
No.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything. There's something nice for you at the end, and we are also not going to show everything that this DLC has to offer, because we want you to find it out yourselves. I'm just losing so many lives here. I told you I wasn't that good. Here's the thing, because rodent flies, I cannot block these guys, so I just lost. No, I didn't. Love these guys. Good. 16 lives. And this
not
first
bad.
round. It's okay. I got 2 stars. Well. So you still want me to play in impossible mode? Let's try... What should we try next? Should we go to second level or should we play one of the modes? We could play... Let's give this a try. Let's give the Iron Challenge a try. And then we go to the second level.
Okay.
But no further from the second level, so we don't spoil too much.
Yeah, just try and make the most of having Juan Carlos here. Ask the questions
Ask me
in the chat.
questions. Ask me questions.
Yeah, well, Plague Knight made another great question. He's also one of the winners of the contest yesterday. He
Who-
made like 10 entries, Plague Knight.
Wow.
He made the baby piloting the
mecha?
mecha.
Oh, I
He also
love
made the hero, which is like the first Greenbeard clone who rebelled and became like good. He wanted to
Okay.
free all the other clones. So
Good.
he joined the alliance. Yeah, he also had a lot of funny ones. The one that had like, you know how Greenbeard brows are so thick? This one
Yes.
had like giant brows and he could fly.
I saw that one too. I mean, like, those entries for the contest were really, really creative, and we really had a blast checking them out. See how you came up with your own versions of Dreambeard. You could actually work with him or for him, making more clones.
Yeah, he would be proud.
Yes, so many good entries, and it was really difficult to pick the winners.
Oh, super.
That was
Super
really
hard.
difficult.
Well, this Plague Knight, he was asking about the difference between the Cannoneers and the Rocket Gunners.
Whoa. Well, first of all, you get way more units than the rocket gunners of the cannoneers. So you have that extra firepower. The rocket gunners are more focused on each of those two units, dealing lots of damage with the Stinger missiles and the phosphorus ammo, and just messing this up. Yes, I'm messing this up. This is extra difficult. Sorry.
Yes,
And-
it's the Iron.
The iron mode. Okay, so they have extra firepower, and because they fly, they are quicker than the cannoneers. The cannoneers are quite fast on their own, but the rocket gunners are more mobile. Overall, that's what I believe. I got lucky there. Good. More questions. I like questions. I mean, I like talking. That must be why. Let's have one of this here.
Oh, there's a question here, but I think it's more directed towards programmers. Still, I think since you're involved in the process, Daniel Young asked, do you guys write code a lot? I'm a computer science UG, and I'm curious in whether how much programming is needed to develop and maintain your games.
Quite a lot. I mean, I cannot answer that question like 100% faithfully because I'm a game designer. I barely touch code because I'm not good at coding. I tried and I'm not good. But there is quite a lot of, fair amount of code involved there.
Oh, Alex Blaze has a question for you. What is your favorite enemy of the DLC?
My favorite enemy of the DLC? Good question. I mean, probably my favorite enemy might be the most hated. I have to think. The welders are really, really good. They soak a lot of damage, and when they die, they actually block one of your towers. So you have to be really, really careful on when do you kill them. Those are one of my most, favorite enemies. The Guardian, the big dwarf in a mecha suit, is another one. I like that one very much. And the most. No, it's really, really hard to choose. But the Hulk, which you're going to meet in other stages, is one of my favorite. And some people hate those guys, but I like them because they are hard to beat, and we like a challenge.
Or you could just say Greenbeard and just cover them all.
Okay, yeah, Grimbeard covers.
They share like
yes.
genes anyway.
I mean,
so.
we are always talking about him, no matter what. So I believe he would like that. He's quite egotistical.
No wonder.
Come on, Broden.
Floppy Moon.
No,
said-
no.
Barely made it.
No.
Well,
I'm having a blast despite this.
what is the most difficult thing about developing level?
It's a whole thinking what's going to be inside of each level and how the paths are going to twist and turn. That's quite challenging because we think first where the level is going to be set, and then what is going to be inside of the level. I just lost. Or not.
No.
I didn't. Come on. I'm not that good. Yes. I like Rodent, but he doesn't block enemies, and that, you know, it's just some sort of a deal breaker for me. But it's really important here to pay attention, you know, to all of the paths. This is difficult. This is one of the most difficult parts of thinking the level is just where are players going to be looking at, which enemies are we going to send through each path, and which is going to be the main challenge here. That's one of the most difficult parts.
That's interesting. Yeah, well, people are really wondering about the process, like for creating the paths and the environmental mechanics of the level. That like what that process like.
We draw on a blank paper. we start there actually. We draw. We first know where each level is going to be set, and then we draw around that, and we start figuring out which elements could be like the most important on each stage. For example, here we are outside the mountain, and so you have the giant robot's feet. So obviously, if we showed you just like, you know, the tip of the boots, it wouldn't be good enough. So it's like, okay, are we going to base the level around robot's feet? How is it going to work? Which enemies are going to come up? That sort of thing.
Oh, they're speaking of the feet.
Yeah.
We have enemies coming out of it.
Yeah, it's behaving quite strangely. So yeah, we send different types of enemies through the feed, and it's one of the ways that we can hope to surprise players with different challenges.
This one was close, but you did it.
I made it. I barely made it. I mean, there were quite a few close calls, so both Kratoa and Broden saved me there. So let's check out the second level, shall we? Frantic Assembly. This one was really nice to work in.
Frantic Assembly.
Good. I mean, this one is pretty challenging. Do I just have to think about what I'm going to do next? Because you have, you know, multiple paths. You have to defend these 2 points on the right, but enemies are coming from the top, the left part, and the bottom part. So you have to cover quite many fronts here. So let's start. Let's start with another. Let's play with the Cannoneers a little bit more, because we have, you know, big groups of enemies coming from the left. So the Cannoneers are really good at keeping them at bay. And let's work with Tri-Cannon here, and just good to go. Yes.
I have another preference question.
Okay.
Destroydan asks, out of all the DLCs, so out of Hammerfall, the Pirate Kings, and this one, which one is your favorite?
You are asking me a really tough question. I mean, Hammerfold I like very much, you know, to go back to that part of the continent, you know, helping Bazan on his conquest was really, really good. Pirate Kings was hilarious with the amount of enemies, and you know, there's really goofy monkeys and shark people. It was really, really fun. But this one also holds a special place for me. It's a difficult contest between Pirate Kings and Colossal Dwarfare, but like Greenbeard very much, so I'm going to choose Colossal Dwarfare so far, but Pirate Kings is excellent. And if you haven't tried it, you should go try it, because it's hilarious and really, really fun.
That's, they all are. This one has a lot of humorous moments.
It does. I mean, it's pretty hilarious that you are already fighting like same dwarf wearing different outfits, doing different things. These new enemies, the Darksteel Fists, I like them very much because they can stun your barracks heroes, and you know they are quite a pest. If you don't control them, you are going to have a lot of dwarves, you know, running around.
I really like how every different level of the Cannoneers, they change their hairstyles.
Yes, and that's a really nice detail. That's really nice to do. And I believe that we, in this DLC, we have like one of the most gorgeously animated features. Like there are lots of tiny details that you can get to look, you know, and find on each level. I believe you're going to have fun with that. This one.
Well, Alex is asking about something we were talking earlier, and he asked, who gave the idea to have the antagonist be all enemies simultaneously via his clones? So, who was it that came up with the clone idea? Was it a team effort?
Yeah, I believe it was in one of the meetings, because when we designed, we just discussed these things in group, and I believe the idea actually came from Lito and Gonzalo, which are the founders of the company. They just said, why wouldn't these enemies be just clones of the same dwarf? Like, we weren't considering that as an option that much because we wanted to focus on something that was purely fantasy. So they actually said that, and it was like, okay, we can try that out, and it worked. It worked. I believe it worked really well because it plays on Grimbeard's megalomania. You know, like just I'm so good that I need the numbers to do this myself. So I'm just going to clone myself. It's pretty deranged and silly. So we loved it.
Oh, here's another good one. Do the ideas for the Easter egg come up spontaneously, or are they planned right from the start?
Sometimes when we are discussing the overall theme of setting or the levels themselves, we just think like, oh, we could put something here, something else right here, or reference, or some special interaction. Some of them come up really early concept stages, just because the theme actually allows us to use certain elements, and other things just happen when we are building the levels.
Oh, there are some people talking about the matter to the left.
Yes.
I think if it's a Uruguayan thing.
Yes.
Yes, it's a Uruguayan thing.
Yes. Mate is, I mean, to say it's pretty popular in Uruguay would be an understatement. It's just like national treasure or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
here it's common to see people walking on the streets while having the mate and the termo on their hands.
yes, and the director, Fede Alvarez, who is Uruguayan, is the director of Alien Romulus, so he uses the mate in some of his scenes, so why shouldn't we do it? So speak of the devil and he will appear. Here it is, Greenbeard himself. This is the first time we get to meet him.
That's
He's, yeah, I mean, he's quite concerned about his machines, and I'm concerned about these guys on the right here. Oh no, I just missed him. So if you let Greenbeard work his thing out, he just turns on this big furnace, and he starts letting these ugly robots come in. Oh, these guys are a pain. Good, so you have to be aware of Greenbeard. Do not let him get through his plans from the start. or else you're going to have to fight these sentries. So there's a lot going on at this point. You have the upgrade station, which actually changes the basic Dwarven units into Dwarven fists. So we also like to play with the idea that these dwarves enhanced themselves mechanically. So they would use different elements to make their work better. So that they could be used both at a forge and at an offensive, capabilities. So the fist can crush rock, minerals, but it can also, smash the face of your units.
Oh, that's smart. I hadn't thought of it. Like I just thought that it was about making warriors, but it makes sense that he would also want them to work.
I mean, we could say many things about Greenbeard, but he's quite practical.
Well, Alex Place has a game design question.
Mm-hmm.
He asked, why do all stages in Alliance consist of 2 paths and exit, but never 1 or 3?
Never 1 or 3 exits. That's a good question. Well, one of the things that actually influences that decision is that we now have 2 heroes. So that's a lot of micromanagement, and it's quite difficult, balance difficulty when you have 2 heroes, because either or the heroes are less powerful, and that's no fun, or we make the levels a little bit more complex. But at the same time that we want to do that, we also want to give space here so you can see cool things. If we made extra paths to make the game extra difficult, you would get to see less cool things. So the idea is to actually do a little bit of each. If we had an extra path, we wouldn't have this huge furnace here, which is like the centerpiece of the level.
Makes sense. Also, when you're playing on a smaller screen, maybe harder.
If you're playing on your phone, having multiple paths and having to scroll is actually quite a chore. It's not that fun. So we need to keep that in mind too. I mean, we want everyone to enjoy the game as best as they can. So if we make it extra difficult, but in Steam it's really easy to play, but in mobile it's really difficult. It's not that fun for everybody. So we like to keep it cool for everyone.
Oh, what's your favorite part of the DLC? We talked about your favorite enemy before.
Yeah, favorite part. This level is, I like this level, but for me, I won't spoil. But the latest levels are the ones that I enjoy the most.
I mean, 4 and 5.
Yes,
4 and 5.
yes, levels 4 and 5, and level 3 is actually really fun too. There is a lot of things going on, and of course, if you play also heroic and iron, you get to see some extra stuff that we hide in plain sight for you to find. But those are my favorite parts. I mean, you got to see some of the things that you can see at the latest levels in the trailer. I'm not going to talk about that too much because I would like you to discover it yourselves, because it's really fun and it's gorgeously animated. One of the things that I like the most comes right up in the boss fight, of the last level. I think I'm getting the hang of this, talking and playing, I haven't lost any lives yet, so I feel pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, like your defenses seem pretty solid, right?
Yes, I mean, the Cannoneers are really good. That's what I'm going to say. They are really good.
Some people were wondering if they are going to get more returning heroes or towers like the Cannoneer. Let's wait and see.
You should wait and see. I mean, we could tease about it, but we won't, because it's better to just wonder if there will be or they won't.
Is Kratoa named after the volcano Kratoa?
Kratoa.
Krakatoa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's reminiscent of that name. Yes.
Everyone is so happy that you're going to get 3 stars. It's like you're evolving.
Now don't jinx me. Don't jinx me because I just got the furnace open. I'll try my best. I'm trying my best. I just love that Kratoa spins around and just, throws lava everywhere. He's really good to control these little guys, the scrap speedsters. There's a lot of robotic enemies here. So when you have a lot of robots, it's also good, be on your guard for mad tinkerers because they are going to want to use that scrap.
Oh.
So you see, they must produce these drones. I mean, at this point, we have all of the upgrades, or all of the heroes are maxed level. We are pretty powerful here. So we have enough firepower to deal with this menace. But there are some certain close calls from time to time.
Oh, here we have one question, which is interesting that wasn't asked up to this point. But how long did it take to complete the design and overall gameplay for this DLC? So from concept to release.
I wish I could tell you the exact date we began working on this, but honestly, I forgot. I mean, we've been working on this we're January. No, really, I'm really, bad with dates. And 6 months, 6 months. Give or take 6 months. I could be mistaken. 5, 6 months, I believe it's okay. Good time.
Yeah. And Alex asks, how do you balance the level? And what is the toughest process behind the difficulty?
Good question. Difficult question. Difficult to answer. Many things come up when you test. You can just choose how much HP or damage the enemies are going to have. You can just balance the numbers, and when you get to testing, that's when you get to see how things are going to turn out. So you have to tweak. Sometimes you end up tweaking how an entire enemy works. I just lost
No.
a couple of lives there.
Well,
But it's my fault because I let Greenbeard do his thing. Balancing is quite challenging when you test because sometimes you believe that the numbers, they all feed and that it works, but when you test it doesn't work that much for you. So you have to be careful there. Sometimes when you test and you decide to balance, it's not always about numbers, but of what enemies do. Now he's angry. And for those who asked about the Eggman, reminiscence, of course we needed to do a nod to old Eggman. I love the Sonic games, by the way.
oh, this is not a question, just a nice message from Fong. He says, hi from Denmark, just beat the DLC. Wow, super fast. It was super nice and cool. Love the bosses. As a game developer, I can see you guys put so many hours in it. Super nice, good job.
Thank you very much. And play it slowly. Play the game slowly. Just give it a time to, breathe it in and have your fun. But we love that you loved it. I mean, I particularly do, because I really liked working on this DLC. So to read what you think, it always puts a smile on our faces.
Everyone is gasping at the Dr. Eggman reference in the chat.
I mean, you wouldn't ever want to see those guys working together. They would be pretty much unstoppable. Speaking of unstoppable, he's going to leave. I don't want him to leave.
I don't think so.
He's quite near. Come on.
Well, I think the shame is that Kratoa can't attack him.
Yeah, but Kratoa is very busy dealing with the guys here, so...
Alex asks, what do you think is the sweet spot
Great.
for number of bosses inside like a DLC? Like, let's say a 5-stage DLC? Right, does it depend?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the theme. I mean, I managed to do it, not 3 stars, but it's quite good. You know, you can always replay the stages and do a little bit better now that you know what's coming. But the number of bosses, it really depends on, you know, on the theme of the DLC, where the challenge is going to be. Sometimes, you know, you want to make a dedicated boss unit. Sometimes you want to build something on the longer run. 3 would be right, like you have 5 levels, 3 mini bosses, or 3 bosses counting the last boss would be good. Oh no, it's just give or
I
take.
guess it depends. Like,
Yeah, it really depends, you know.
I would rather have 3 memorable bosses rather than like 5 meh.
Well, that's the thing, you know. We really like when people just say we saw that reference, or this this particular unit or this enemy or this boss makes us remember something else. Like the Eggman boss, I loved it because I really like Eggman from Sonic. It's like this is going to be fun, even if he's not that powerful at this stage, because Greenbeard, believe me, Greenbeard gets way more powerful, and even if he's not that powerful right now, that he looks like Eggman, it makes him funnier. Everything that he does is a little bit funnier.
Oh, and one last question before we finish this whole stream. How many people worked in this DLC? How many wonderful developers?
I'm really bad with numbers and with dates, and you're asking me these questions.
Oh, sorry.
But it's okay. But let me think.
You could name them.
No, these guys are going to kill me. No, because if I leave someone out, they are going to kill me. Because we had like 10 people worked on this DLC, like 7-10 people, because we all do like sometimes many little different things. You know, we have some artists that focus more on animating the enemies or the heroes. Some others make the portraits. So it's like a really, you know, ant work, like with each one of us doing a little bit to build this really big DLC, like Greenbeard himself, but without the cloning. But it's like 10 people, 7-10 people, give or take.
That's wonderful. Okay, guys, remember that the DLC is out. You can go and get it. The link is everywhere. It's in the chat. It's in the description. Go ahead and try it. Let us know what you think. And yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Yes, and please remember, if you get to the final stages and you see the comic, don't spoil it for your friends. Just let them find out on their own what's going to happen. That's why we didn't show anything else here and just the first 2 stages. So have fun playing it.
Yeah, that's good. A good reminder. Spoiler-free fun. Well, we'll end the